Shalom。大家知道 Shalom 是什么意思吗？ Yeah, it means peace in Hebrew, and in Hebrew actually it doesn't just mean peace. It also means good morning. Also means hello. I think a lot of you know that I just came back from Israel, and I really had an inspirational trip. Thank you for your prayer and support. Really had a great time with Nathan. Well, I really had a great time. Yeah, comma with Nathan. Yeah, 那今天其实 we have a couple things 我想要 before I start my sermon, there are a couple things I want to 就是 recognize 或者是 appreciate. First of all, I want to appreciate all the co-workers who served in EFCI retreat last week. I know a lot of us spend a lot of time in children ministry, in registration, in helping out with the workshop. 我们好不好请所有上个礼拜有在 EFCI join retreat 有 serve 的人可以 stand up, and we really want to appreciate you. Yeah, let's stand up, come on. Maybe you're just too shy, but your credit is in heaven. So yeah, thank you for your serving. I know it's been very difficult, very tiring for last week. 所以谢谢你们的服侍。在今天我想要跟各位分享的是在 Genesis chapter 16. So if you don't have your Bible, can you please raise your hand, and our ushers in the back can give you a Bible. 所以如果你没有带你的 Bible 的话， can you keep your hand high until our ushers give you a Bible? And if you have your Bible, go to Genesis chapter 16. One of the things maybe you haven't noticed, but I'm sure the worship team have noticed, and I have noticed, which was great, that our AV team fixed the back screen and the back projector, which is a huge blessing. So yeah, thank you, Miles, and I know a lot of people work hard on it. Right now, it's almost been a year, right? So yeah, we fixed it, and it's great. I can look at the back screen. Right. Now, if you have your Bible, go to Genesis chapter 16. We're going to continue on our quarter 2, which is facing challenges in life. Now, we're going to see this main character, Abraham, 就是亚伯拉罕. He faced family crisis this time, and this is in Genesis chapter 16. So, if you have your Bible, go to Genesis chapter 16. First, I will start with, this is a picture of Jerusalem, right? And this is where one of the places that I just went. Now, who knows what does Jerusalem, Jerusalem mean? What does the word Jerusalem mean? Okay, well, Jerusalem is, in Hebrew, is broken down into 2 parts, right? It's Yeru and Shalayim, right? Shalayim is the same word as Shalom, right? So, which means what? Which means peace, right? 在 Hebrew 叫Shalom， 在 Arabic maybe 你们有时候看电影的时候，他会说什么 Salam alaikum, right? May peace be with you, right? 那就是都是同一个字 ，which means peace. 那第一个字 ear 是什么呢？ It means 耳朵。No, just kidding. Okay. No, it means city. So Jerusalem actually means what? City of peace. 所以耶路撒冷的意思是什么呢？是 city of peace. But we all know it's very ironic that we went to Jerusalem, and Jerusalem, everywhere you go, there are these soldiers with heavy automatic weapons. Everywhere you go, okay, 都是拿着重型的自动的武器. And you feel safe, and you also feel dangerous, at the same time. It's ironic, when you think about Jerusalem, you wouldn't think it's a city of peace, right? When you think about Israel, and when you think about Jerusalem, peace doesn't really come in mind. You don't think it's really a city of peace. Now, why is that? The problem, of course, 有很多，但是我们知道其中的一个，其实在于 the conflict between 3 groups, right? The conflict between the Muslim or Arabic, Judaism, Jews, and Christian, right? The conflict, lasts thousands of years and still continues today. I'm not here to judge, to say who is wrong or who is right, but we know the conflict still persists. Right? Now, the conflict actually started with the passage that we're going to talk about. The conflict actually started with this passage, this very passage that we're going to talk about. So let's go to Genesis chapter 16, because this is actually traced to the beginning of Muslim. In Genesis chapter 16, verse 1, the projected 是和合本或者是 NASB, but you can read whatever version you have. I'm going to read the NASB today. Now Sarai, or Sarah, with Abram, or Abraham's wife, 就是撒拉或是撒来, had borne him no children, and she had an Egyptian maid whose name was Hagar. So Sarah said to Abram, now behold, the Lord has prevented me from bearing children. Please go into my maid, perhaps I will obtain children through her. And Abram listened to the voice of Sarai, and Abram had lived 10 years in the land of Canaan. Abram's wife Sarah took Hagar the Egyptian, her maid, and gave her to her husband Abram as his wife. So we see that Abraham, Yahuwah, and Sarah had no children. 那但是我们知道 the couple chapters before that, we've been reading through Genesis in chapter 10, in chapter 13, in chapter 15, multiple times God has promised Abraham word for word. 他先跟 Abraham 说，你的 descendants 会跟地上earth，会跟地上的尘土一样多。接下来还有跟 Abraham 说，我要给你儿子。Abraham 说 ，Well, I have this adopted son in my house. The Lord said, No, your children will come from you, will come from your own body. 然后他又带他们去看外面的 star， 说你的 descendant 会跟外面的 star 一样，会跟天上的 star 一样多。Now with all that, almost 10 years have passed. Abram still have no children through Sarah. Right? So you see, a lot of times there is a conflict, there's a gap between what you think the Lord wants to give you and between the reality. And I think a lot of us experience that. Right? You feel the Lord is going to bless you this way, but in reality, there is a gap. So, however, his wife Sarah continued to be barren, 所以他就 come up with this great idea. 他说 Well, I have this maid, 我有一个使女 Hagar 下嫁. I will let my husband sleep with her, and she will have a child, and because she's just a maid and she's under me. 那这个 children 可以 count as under my name, 就在我的名下面. Well, it's kind of cheating, right? 我生不出小孩但没关系 I have a maid, so I'll have the maid have a children and have a child, and the child is under my name. And Abraham was like, wow, that's a great idea. Why not, right? 英雄所见略同. Let's just do it, For once in my lifetime, my wife agreed for me to have an affair, right? Why not? Just jump on it, just kidding. Okay, 所以 anyway, 他说 well, yeah, let's do it. 机会难得, yeah, I'll just go and grab on it. So they did that. You see, they did that. So Abraham has sex with Hagar. 所以我们看到 Sarah 她因为没有小孩，所以她就有一个 idea， 就是让 Hagar 跟 Abraham 来生小孩。So they had sex, and let's continue in verse 4. Verse 4的时候 he went into Hagar and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her sight. And Sarah said to Abram, May the rundown me be upon you. I gave my maid into your arms, and when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her sight. May the Lord judge between you and me. But Abram said to Sarah, Behold, your maid is in your power. Do to her what is good in your sight. So Sarah treated her harshly, and she, Hagar, fled from presence. So the problem starts here. There is a conflict in the family. So Hagar is now pregnant, right? 她怀孕了就自以为了不起， right? 就走路开始有风，就拽了起来， right? 就你看 now look at I'm the woman of the house, right? 本来是仆人的，本来是一个 maid. Now I'm somebody. I'm somebody in the house. 我想其实你看中国的古代， right? 那个 emperor 哪一个那个 concubine 有了小孩之后，也开始就地位就开始变比较高 ，right? It's the same concept. 那这个 Sarah 呢，她就施展 What woman does the best， 就是怎么样呢 ？Blame the situation to men， right？ 那我就 skate， 他确实就跟 Abraham， anyway， 他跟 Abraham 说什么？他说其实 I'm suffering because of you, right？ 我把我的这个妹放到你的 arm 里面 ，and now look at what she's done。那这个 Abraham 就 like old guy 就没办法，我就随便你吧 ，do whatever you want， OK？ Yeah， treat whatever，treat her whatever you want。那 Sarah 呢，她这个时候她就 woman's best weapon 就是 jealousy 就开始，对不对？她就I'm sorry. If I offended anyone, it's just a joke, okay? Apologize, I'll stop. Okay. Well, whether it's man or woman, jealousy is the most fearful weapon. Right? 他就开始嫉妒，所以他就 mistreated Hagar. Now think about this. Remember, Hagar was pregnant already. For those of you who have been pregnant, or your wife has been pregnant, or I'm sure your mom has been pregnant. Now, when you're pregnant, you're supposed to be treated what? With gentleness, carefully, right? I'm sure, 今天 husband, 如果你的 wife pregnant, 你一定是对她最小心，你怕她受一点点伤害, right? When you're pregnant, 你一定是, treat yourself very well. Think about it. Let's put yourself in Hagar's shoes. 你下甲 situation, 她已经怀孕了，但是她被 treated harshly. 她被 treated harshly. 所以呢, so she decided to what? Fled, right? 逃走. Let's continue in verse 7. In verse 7, 所以 Hagar 你知道它就变得很大 right? 然后 verse 7的时候她逃走的时候在 verse 7 Now the angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, by the spring on the way to shore. He said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, where have you come from and where are you going? And Hagar said, I'm fleeing from the presence of my mistress, Sarah. Then the angel of the Lord said to her, return to your mistress and submit yourself to her authority. Well, that's bad news. But then he has some good news. Right? Verse 10, 他又说, moreover, the angel of the Lord said to her, I will greatly multiply your descendants so that they will be too many to count. The angel of the Lord said to her further, behold, you are with child, and you will bear a son, and you shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has given heed to your affliction. He will be a wild donkey of men. 很少，这是一个称赞，人像野驴 right? And his hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him, and he will live to the east of his brother. You see, eventually Hagar gave birth to Ishmael, 就是未来的以实玛利. There are three things that the Bible describes Ishmael. 他说什么呢？他说他的 descendants will be so many to count. 第二个，他说很多人会 attack him, and he will attack a lot of people. There's a lot of violence and battle happening in Ishmael's descendants. Then lastly, 他说他会 live next to against 他的 brother. 当他说他会住在他的 brother 的对面的时候 it's actually implying he is standing opposing to his brother. 他跟他的 brother 是一个 opposite, 是一个 hostile 的 situation. So these three descriptions. Now we all know who is Ishmael. Ishmael, 他生了这个小孩 Ishmael 之后 we know eventually that's not the son God had promised Abraham, because later Abraham had another son through Sarai, and his name is Isaac, Isaac. Now, who is Ishmael and who is Isaac? If you do not know before, Ishmael 他的 descendant 就是 Muslim, 就是 Arab, 就是今天的阿拉伯人或是回教徒。Isaac 他的 descendant 就是今天的 Jews, Israel, 今天的以色列人。And from that day on, because this conflict in their family, from that day on, Jews and Arab, Jews and Muslim, they could never be friends ever since the childhood time of Ishmael and Isaac. Right? Because they're competing with the same fatherly love. They're competing with one fatherly love. And both of them cannot feel that they're winning. Right? Every Muslim knows and believes that they're descendants of Ishmael. So they're also the sons of Abraham. In fact, most of the Muslims believe that Abraham later 不是献 Isaac, 而是献 Ishmael 在这个祭坛上面。所以 if you know Muslim, you know they will know and they believe they're the descendants of Ishmael. Well, on the surface, we know it seems like it's a win-win situation, but we know it resulted in a conflict. And 那也就算了，如果只是 conflict 在他的家就算了，对不对？ But it's a conflict not only in Abraham's family, but this conflict is in the whole world for thousands of years, in history and in present day. Right? The conflict between the descendants of Ishmael and the descendants of Isaac. 所以小心，我们的决定一不小心可能害了全世界。Right? 我们的 decision, we need to be careful, right? So there are three things I want to share with you today. The first thing is the lesson to be learned from Hagar, the Egyptian maid. 我们看到 Hagar 刚刚讲到说 Hagar 其实它有两个 identity。它的第一个 identity， 它是一个 maid。Right? 她是一个 lower class 的人，在她的 family。第二个 identity, she was an Egyptian， 她是一个埃及人。She is an outsider of the family. She is not the same race as Abraham and Sarah。有点像可能台湾人的菲佣或印尼佣吧，对不对？ They can never truly be part of the family. They always treated as outsider. Now, 今天 Hagar 还有一个 chance. If I become Abraham 的小老婆。 then I'm no longer an outsider of the family. There's a chance and I can grab the opportunity, okay, 利用别人 to use other people and I can be identified as part of the family. I can be part of the group. I don't want to always be treated as an outsider. I don't want to always be treated as an Egyptian. As an Egyptian. 我也想要被 identified, 想要被 recognized. 我想要被认同. Brothers and sisters, a lot of times we do that. You know, we want to be recognized. 我们也想要被 recognize， 我们想要被 identify， 所以有时候我们也会利用人 ，right? We use a popular person, we want to be friends with a popular person, or we use other means that we can be recognized. When you come to church, maybe I be friends with a small group leader. I don't mean you be friends with a small group leader, but the point is, a lot of times we're using people to get what we want, and sometimes maybe when we come to church, we start serving so that we can be recognized. We use the situation, we use people, 所以我们可以 get what we want. Hagar also does not like 她的 identity as a maid. 所以她想要怎么样变成 higher, right? 她想要可以借着这个东西 to climb the ladder. A lot of times we do that at work. How many times at work we use people or we use the situation to climb the corporate ladder? Or at school, we use people so we can get, 也许在这次 test 的时候可以考得比较好。In our life, we do that a lot. Because we're also like Hagar. 我们想要利用别人可以得到一些东西。Right? There's a lawyer. 他在开车的时候，他看到在旁边有人在吃草，在 eating grass， 看到 two people eating grass， he's like, oh, why are these people eating grass? 他就 invite them， 就是 onto his car， 就说why are you guys eating grass? 他说we're so poor, we don't have any food, that's why we're eating grass. 那 the lawyer 就说就跟 one of the person 说 well, come to my house, I'll feed you. 然后oh, great, I also have a wife. No problem, bring her too, I'll also feed her. The other person said, I have 6 members of my family. The lawyer said, no problem, just bring all of them. I'll feed all of them. 然后他们就全部上了这个pack 在这个 lawyer 的车上。然后他们就说 Thank you, you're such a good guy. You're willing to take all of us to your home. 然后这 lawyer 就说 Yeah, you will love my home. 我家的草有这么长。Yeah, anyway, okay. Obviously, it's not a true story, okay? It's a joke, it's exaggerating, but a lot of times, we have the mentality of using other people to get what we want. We just want to use other people for this, to get some of the benefit, just like Hagar was doing. Now I'll continue. Hagar 除了她在利用人之外，但是我们看到。他在走的时候 ，the angel of the Lord 遇见他。在中文的时候 ，verse 7 说遇见他，但是在英文，在 English 他是说 the angel of the Lord found her。到底是遇见他还是 found her 呢 ？Actually, that's 2 different meanings. The original language in Hebrew actually 是 found her， 是一个 intentionally 的 finding， 不是碰巧 coincidentally 就遇见他。我不知道中文为什么这样翻 ，but it's finding her。所以我们看到 Who is Hagar？ 那 Hagar 她是 Egyptian， 她是一个 maid， 她未婚怀孕 ，right？ Think about 在古代未婚怀孕走在街上 ，right？ You're pregnant without a husband， 你走在街上 ，that's 在古代 that's actually very very rare. Also, she's a runaway slave. At that time, it's actually what? It's illegal. She's a criminal. At that time, when you ran away, if you're a slave or a maid, you cannot run away from your master without their permission. So she's actually a fugitive. Considering all these identities, the angel of the Lord found her intentionally and spoke to her. And the angel of the Lord said, "What?" 他说：“你的小孩的名字要叫做 Ishmael。意思是什么呢 ？God hears, right? Because God hears, God has heard your affliction. So because God hears, God heard. Now that spoke to us because God loves you too. I don't know what is your situation today, but maybe some of you are going through some difficult time in your life. Maybe you also feel 你也许被 despised. 也许你 also feel you're going through a tough time. 也许 you also feel you're no way out. 也许你 also feel you're being mistreated by the situation or by other people. I think you all have your own struggle. But the Lord wants to let you know, even Hagar, 上帝都跟他说 I heard you, because I'm a God who hears. And God also wants to speak to you today, my friends, that God is a God who hears. 他是听见你的苦情的上帝 because God hears your cry. Let's continue to read the passage, and we can continue to learn from the other person, who is the Hagar, the master, 就是 Sarah 或者是 Sarah. 那 Sarah 她想要做什么东西呢？在我们刚刚读的这个时候 ，Sarah 她说什么？在 verse 2，她说 I will obtain children through her。在原文，其实你们的大部分的那个 Chinese 的 Bible 里面都会说原文是什么呢？因它被建立 ，right？ 因它被 established， 被 build up。I will be established through her。其实在这边the original language, the author actually play on a word. It's very hard to get that in English or in Chinese. The original language, establish 建立这个字的 Hebrew 是什么呢？是 benah。那 son 的儿子这个字呢是 ben， 所以 it's actually very similar in pronunciation. The author actually is a play on word. 它是得儿子得这个 son， 同时也是被 established. So what Sarah is saying, I'm going to be established by my maid having a son. So I want to be established through this son. Now it's funny because if you continue to read, the Bible is very ironic. The very next sentence, 我们看到 Sarah 她不是被 established， 她是被怎么样？被 despised. She wants to be built up. She wants to be established. 她说 I'm going to be established by having this son. But in reality, by having that son of Hagar, she is being despised, not being established. And actually the word despise was repeated twice, and she's being done wrong against. 所以她想要得到的东西，反而得到 the opposite. And that gave us a huge challenge. What's the problem of Sarah? Sarah 她的 life 的这个 focus 和她的 value 和她的 central life 是放在什么呢？放在 I want to be established through a son because I want to have a son because my family is very, very important. Now, I'm not saying family is not important. 但是 my brothers and sisters, 如果我们的 life 的 center, 我们的 focus, 我们的 value 是要建立在我们的 spouse 或是我们的 children 上面的话 let me warn you, one day you will be disappointed. 如果你的 focus, 我知道今天很多的人，我们的 focus 是 my children is number one priority, or my husband, my wife, my spouse is my number one priority. If that's your number one priority, like Sarah, she wants to be established because she looks so value into, so heavy into having a son, and this is 她最重要的东西的时候 she was disappointed. 因为 human and temporary things are bound to disappoint us. 如果我们的 number one priority 不是放在上帝在我们的生命当中的计划的时候 then very easily you will be disappointed and you will be hurt. 我知道我们很多人，我们觉得我们的儿子、我们的小女儿很重要。But you know, when you look so much into 这个的时候，其实 one day Your son or your daughter wants to be free, and you will feel hurt. You will feel that the attachment very broken. You will feel that 他想要自由. You feel that 好像你的 sacrifice is nothing. If you put so much value into 你的 spouse, I'm not saying treat your spouse right, but if 你的 spouse 是 priority over God 的时候，其实 you will feel disappointed. You will feel like 说你的 sacrifice is for nothing. You will feel like 你被背叛。Because a lot of times 我们的 value， 如果你把你的 priority 放错 ，again, I'm not saying your family is not important. Your spouse, your children, your family is important. But your priority， 你的人生的那个最重要的意义 has to be 上帝在你生命当中的计划 ，has to be what God has planned for you, not what you think is so important for you. Because one day you will feel 像 Sarah 一样的是 the opposite of what you got.Of what you want. So there's a lesson to be learned there. There's another lesson to learn here is what? 是 Sarah 她有一个 mentality 是什么呢？ I got it covered. Right? God, you're too slow. Okay, you promised me this son, but let me just work it my way. I don't know how you're going to give me this son, but let me use a very convenient way. 我想要人最快、最方便、最保险、最可以看到result的方法。I'm just going to do it this way. 所以他跟他的 husband 说什么 ？Let's do it this way. Let's have a son through Hagar. My friend, 你是不是今天人生当中也有一些东西是你想要得到的呢？你是不是也有一些东西是你想要被建立、你想要被 establish、你想要 build up 呢？ Which route are you taking?Are you taking the route of constantly asking God for direction? Or are you taking the route of, let's take the convenient way. Let's take a human calculation way. Let's take my way, because I got it covered. Because a lot of times that's the route we take. At work, 我们可能不是问每件事情我们都想要问上帝，而是我们可能想要借着我们的方法来得到我们要的东西。也许是代表走后门，然后也许代表稍微cheat a little bit， 也许代表稍微 do some tricks， 也许我们也想要被 established through our job, through our grade, through our money, through the house that we buy, through the material things that we gain. 我们也想要被 build up this way, like Sarah.And maybe we forgot, continue to ask God if that's the direction, if that's the route God wants us to take. Now, I'm not saying these things are bad, but again, we need to ask God constantly, is this the direction God wants us to take? So we don't walk ahead of God, so we completely rely on God. Now, continue to look at, finally, the third thing that I want to talk about is the things that we can learn from Abraham or Abraham.The things to learn from Abraham is about the word faith. Maybe a lot of you have heard this story. 有多少人去过 Niagara Falls 尼加拉大瀑布 Yeah, wow, a lot of you. It's a waterfall 在between Canada, between Toronto and New York. Okay? It's a great water, one of the three biggest waterfalls of the world, right? Niagara Waterfall. 在19th century 的时候，有很多的 performer 他们会走单索，就是走在 rope 上面，and walk through， 就是在 Niagara Falls 的两边有一个 rope，and they walk on the rope， 然后就 cross Niagara Falls。In 20th century we don't do it anymore. I'm sure there are a lot of insurance and legal issues. But 19th century a lot of performers did that, and one of the most famous one 就是叫 Charles Loudon。Okay. 那他是 also called the Great Loudon. 那他是最有名的 because he was able to walk across Niagara Falls in 20 minutes. And he can carry a lot of stuff. The one time he carried his bike, the one time he carried 他的一个 furniture, carry his chair. He can carry a lot of stuff, 然后 still walk across. 那always 他都很多的那个 audience 在看。And maybe you heard this story. 他每一次表演的时候，就很多人在看 cheer for yeah, go. 那 one day 他就要表演carry a person and walk through, right? 那他就 ask, do you believe that I can do it? And of course, everyone said, yeah, I believe you can do it. Well, the next question is, well, who wants to be on my back? So this story shows faith has different level. There are different level of belief, just like what Abraham was doing. Let's go back to verse. So this is carrying this person. Actually, he did end up carrying. No one wants to be carried other than his manager. So he carried his manager across the hall. Go back to chapter 15的时候，当上帝跟 Abraham 说 ，You're going to have a descendant, and your descendant will be as many as stars in heaven, in the sky. The Bible says in verse 6, Abraham believed in the Lord, and he reckoned it to him as righteousness. 亚伯兰就信了。So Abraham believed that a child will come out from him. But when time comes, when he needs to make a choice, he also chose to fulfill this prophecy with human method and human calculation instead of God's method. In this incident, he did not fully rely on God. He didn't even ask for God's direction, even though he believed. He believed that he will have a son. But he also believed at that time, maybe God's going to give me a son through that way. He wanted to have through Hagar. Because God, I got it covered. That's a manifestation of different level of faith. What I mean by that is, 我们都说, most of us here, when I ask you, you're going to say, I believe there is a God. I believe God. I believe there is a God. I believe in God's existence. But the story challenges us. There are different levels of faith. 因为 the true faith has to speak into the inner part of your soul, has to speak into the complete part of you that you're willing to say, God, in my life, you got it covered, not me. Because that's what true faith is about. True faith is not about you believe in the existence of God. True faith is not about you believe there is a God. But you're willing to say, God, you're my Lord. You have complete control over what I do. Because that's what faith is about. So, this reminds us, 我们的 mentality 是 God, I got it covered. 还是我们的 mentality 是 God, I really need you. Please cover me. Because that's what faith is about. Faith is not just about 我相信上帝会做。Right? 因为 Abraham 的问题是什么呢？我相信上帝会做啊。I believe God will give me a son. He truly believes that God will give me a son. But it does not mean he follows God in every step of the way. It does not mean he asks for direction every step of the way. Even though he believes there's a God, he believes God is good, he believes God's going to give him a son. But it does not mean he follows God and relies on God. You see, there's a difference. There's a different level of faith. And that brings us to the conclusion. 其实在希伯来书 Book of Hebrews 讲到，人非有信就不能得神的喜悦，因为到神面前来的人必须信有神。其实中文的 translation is not very good. 在 original language 在 Greek 这个字其实是什么呢？其实听见它就翻译得很好，并不是信有神，并不是 must believe that he exists， 而是 believe that he is。这是什么意思呢？We all know 耶和华 Yahweh 的意思是什么呢？是 I am. He is the third person of I am, of Yahweh. 所以这个意思是什么呢？到神面前来的人，不是信有神，而是信 God is， 而是信 God is your Savior and God is your Lord. And God is the God that not only capable, but God is the God that you're willing to submit to. 所以不是信 God exists， 而是信 God is your Lord, and God is your sovereign Lord, and God is the God that I'm willing to believe, but also I'm willing to rely on totally. Let's pray. Father, we come before you. We read through the crisis of Abraham and his family, and we see one single mistake may lead to a lot of conflict down the road. It's hard to say who's right, who's wrong, but we know conflict still exists today. So Lord, help us to make right decisions, every decision to be right in our life. Lord, I pray that you help us to learn from the mistakes that Hagar, that Sarah, that Abraham made. But we also want to be reminded today that you're the God who hears. That you're a God who takes care of us. You're a God who hears in our difficult time, in our struggles. Because even though Hagar was nobody, you still hear her cry. 那你今天岂不也更听到我们在你面前的需要？谢谢你在我们当中。Pray all these in Jesus' name.